Okay, so I've had people in the past say that I haven't actually done Arrow versus Hawkeye. I've done Green Arrow versus Hawkeye, which is true. And people also asked if I would do movie versions and TV versions. So here we go. We'll start off with Arrow versus Hawkeye. This, of course, is the TV version. This is the Stephen Amell versus the Jeremy Renner version. So here we go. Of course, same criteria as always. Where's intelligence, finally, strength, speed, durability. Invulnerability, X Factor, and all that. This one's going to be different, though, because you're comparing... Stephen Amell's character has got... He's in, what, season 5? He's got 5 seasons. Pretty much 40 minutes every episode, so he has a lot more character development, a lot more feats, a lot more things we've seen him do. Hawkeye, not as much. So I was ready. Like, marry 2 characters, one from movie, one from TV. The TV guys are going to have a lot more things that he's been shown to do. So, we're going to get right into this one. Intelligence. You know, Stephen Amell's character, Arrow, where he's at now, he's actually pretty good at what it is that he does. But he constantly needs the involvement of other people in his ear, helping him get through everything. He's pretty much a great fighter. He's a good tactical fighter, but I'm comparing that to someone who's got legitimate military training who also is actually a spy. He's done it for a long period of time. I know when they go back in time, they're like, oh, well, 5 years ago. And they show him doing some of the work here and some of the work there. So Stephen Amell's Arrow does have some spy background, but nowhere near the depth that you have in someone like Hawkeye. Fighting ability. You know, this one, you could kind of go back and forth with, but I'm going to give it to Arrow. If I was looking at season 1 Arrow, this would be Hawkeye, because Hawkeye this time would have had, you know, significantly more years of training. But as of right now, Arrow has faced some incredibly gifted fighters, whether it's been, you know, Deathstroke or beating Ra's al Ghul, well, or Ra's al Ghul, well, first losing, then winning, battling someone like Merlin. And he has taken his fighting game to a whole nother level. Plus, he's out almost every single night fighting. I would definitely say these 2 guys, while I will say the military training background of Hawkeye is very good, I'm looking at somebody who has just spent a tremendous amount of time fighting, who is pretty much out 6 days a week, knowing that what's going to keep him alive is his skill set. Hawkeye doesn't have to worry about that as much. Strength, half of seeing Stephen Amell's Arrow is him shirtless doing salmon ladder. Dude is just ridiculously jacked, in tremendous shape. Nothing against Jeremy Renner, but Stephen Amell is just... But then again, if I was that jacked, I would probably be shirtless. Like, so I make lots of money? Yeah. Shirt off. And salmon ladder. And salmon ladder. Salmon ladder. Guys in just sick shape. Speed. You know, with this, it's speed as well as maneuverability. They haven't really shown Hawkeye to be as agile as he probably could be. But in the comic book versions, they're entirely different. You know, I think with this one, Hawkeye is pretty much shown to be not the most agile out of all the human-based characters. Black Widow is shown to be faster and more agile. It also helps too that they're like, well, to give her an edge, she has to be faster. The only other human they really have on their team, of course, is Captain America, who's a super soldier. So Jeremy doesn't really have that. He doesn't really feel like he's at a peak level of communication when it comes to speed. Durability. Again, this just goes to, we've seen Stephen Amell do so much more. You know, we've seen him fight individuals with superhuman endurance. We've seen him fight a tremendous amount of individuals, one after another, after another, after another. The closest thing I've got when it comes to Hawkeye, of course, is the 2 major battles in the Avengers films. But again, he's not the main focal point, so we're not really seeing him do as much as we probably could. Invulnerability, Hawkeye. You're probably thinking, but they're both in almost no body armor. Well, see this? See this? See this? It's actually a military grade, where until recently, this Stephen Amell was predominantly in leather. So you're looking at a guy who's actually in a really good military standard, well, actually, a high-tech military issue. So that armor that he's wearing, while yes, they're both relatively exposed, he's got a much greater chance of surviving any sort of body damage. How are they at range? I'm going to give this one to Hawkeye, because if anything else, what I'm pretty much seeing Hawkeye do is, yes, he's the guy with the bow and arrow, but he's the guy who's shooting off arrows that are helping to take out aliens, that are helping to take out robots. Green Arrow, he's doing a great job fighting humans, plunking arrows into humans, splitting arrows into humans. Where when I'm watching Hawkeye, Hawkeye's got this, it's like, I need an arrow that I can use to take down whatever that thing is. So Hawkeye definitely has a much more greater impact when it comes to the range ability, versatility. Again, going with Hawkeye. Yes, we have seen Stephen Amell's arrow shoot off a lot of variability when it comes to his arrows. But he is always waiting for someone else to make something for him. And it's pretty much, well, here's whatever Cisco and Felicity can dream at the time. Of course, now with Mr. Terrific, this is what we can think about to help you through this scenario. Where Hawkeye, he's just focused on the mission. And he's got military grade weapons at his disposal. He's also developing his own weapons too. So he's actually has a much greater depth of arsenal. No pun intended. So I do think at range, this is definitely Hawkeye's game. I think Hawkeye's got better arrows and a much larger variety of arrows. Now we're coming down to X Factor. As these two guys square off, who do I think truly has the edge? Arrow. The main reason why. Hawkeye is pretty much relegated to me, you know what? I'm the guy with the bow and arrow surrounded by superhumans. What can I really do against half of this stuff? But Hawkeye's very good against humans. However, we haven't seen him go one-on-one with an archer yet of comparable skill. Arrow has. Arrow will been the League of Assassins. I would say a League of Assassin would probably be a pretty rough equivalent to what we see as at Hawkeye. Higher League of Assassin member would definitely be an equivalent to Hawkeye. He's beaten them. He's beaten the leader of those groups. He's beaten someone like Merlin. And I would probably say Merlin is pretty analogous to what we can see from the overall skill from Hawkeye. So, basis the fact that we've seen him go through more things. You can easily make the argument that had Hawkeye been in more movies and done more stuff, maybe this could be a different one. But since I'm comparing a TV to a movie, it definitely does come down to the winner would of course end up being Stephen Amell's arrow.